Hello everyone, and thank you for visiting our channel. Today, we'll be delving into the lives of talented actors who left us too soon, often without us even realizing it. From Hollywood icons to rising stars, these individuals made significant contributions to the world of entertainment before their untimely passing. Before we begin, we ask for your support. If this video or their legacy has touched your life, please like it as a sign of respect. Thank you. Now let's begin.
Just once more.
Rick Derringer was a legendary American guitarist, singer, and producer whose career spanned more than 6 decades. He first soared to fame at just 17, when his band, the McCoys, recorded the iconic hit, Hang On Sloopy. He later cemented his legacy with the electrifying anthem rock and roll, Hoochie Koo, a track that defined a generation and re-emerged in pop culture through Stranger Things. Derringer's immense talent also extended behind the scenes, earning him a Grammy for producing Weird Al Yankovic's debut album and composing Real American, Hulk Hogan's signature theme song. Born with music in his veins, Derringer collaborated with artists like Steely Dan, Cyndi Lauper, and Bonnie Tyler, leaving an indelible mark on classic rock. In his later years, he turned to Christian music, continuing to perform and inspire. He passed away on May 26, 2025, in Ormond Beach, Florida, at the age of 77. His caregiver, Tony Wilson, announced the news via Facebook. Though no cause of death was given, Derringer's passing leaves a heartfelt void in the music world. His estimated net worth at the time was $500,000. A modest figure for a man whose influence remains immeasurable.
Talk about her history as a call girl.
Jill Sobule, the pioneering voice behind the 1995 hit I Kissed a Girl, tragically passed away at the age of 66 in a devastating house fire on the morning of May 1, 2025, in Woodbury, Minnesota. She had been staying with friends while preparing for an upcoming performance, showcasing songs from her autobiographical stage, musical, Fact 7th Grade, a project deeply rooted in identity, adolescence, and self-acceptance. According to officials, the fire may have started outside the residence, with abandoned or discarded materials or products cited as contributing factors. The blaze broke out at approximately 5:37 a.m., while the occupants were asleep. Authorities confirmed that no one in the home appeared to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol at the time, underscoring the sudden and tragic nature of the event. Jill Sobule was more than a singer-songwriter. She was a cultural trailblazer whose music gave voice to marginalized communities long before it was common in pop music. With humor, honesty, and a fierce sense of purpose, she challenged norms and opened doors for generations to come. Her passing leaves a profound void, but her music and message will endure, continuing to inspire empathy, courage, and connection.
Which is very important in this story, and it's £425 a week.
Breaking news. I don't have long left to live. The heartbreaking truth behind Harry Potter's most unfiltered star.
You hit me in the panel for that!
She made just a few appearances in Harry Potter, but the warmth she brought to Professor Sprout has never left us. Now, at 84, beloved British actress Miriam Margolyes has delivered a sobering message. I probably don't have long left to live. Her words have stirred both sadness and admiration, because even in decline, she remains astonishingly honest, brilliantly witty, and deeply human. What does Miriam Margolyes mean to you? Did she make you laugh? Remind you of someone in your own life? We'd love to hear your memories in the comments below. Miriam was born in 1941 in Oxford, into a Jewish family that valued intellect, independence, and sharp humor, all qualities that would come to define her. At Cambridge, she was the first woman to be part of the renowned Footlights Club. From there, she began a career that spanned 7 decades: radio, stage, television, film. She won a BAFTA for The Age of Innocence, voiced countless characters in documentaries and audiobooks, and played unforgettable roles in Call the Midwife, Doctor Who, and Blackadder. But none of those brought her the global affection that came from just a few short scenes as Professor Sprout. With her frizzy hair and muddy gardening gloves, she made herbology feel like home. Then came the health setbacks, quiet at first, then overwhelming. In 2023, she underwent a transcatheter aortic valve replacement to avoid the trauma of open-heart surgery. "I've got a cow's heart now," she joked. But behind the joke was something sobering. Soon after, she was diagnosed with spinal stenosis, a narrowing of the spinal canal that left her increasingly immobile. "I can't walk very well," she admitted. "I'm registered disabled. I've got 2 sticks, a walker, but the mobility scooter is fun." But nothing about her decline is romanticized. "When you know you haven't got long to live," she said recently, "you don't want to leave behind performing." Then she paused and added, "But I'm just not strong enough." That ache, the longing to keep going, even when the body gives out, strikes a chord in anyone who's ever watched a loved one grow old. That's where Miriam touches us most, not in her fame, but in her vulnerability. She's also had to reckon with something rarely discussed: money in old age. Despite a career full of awards and appearances, she confessed, "I'm worried I won't have enough money for carers when I finally get paralyzed, or whatever's going to happen." Her estimated net worth is $4.5 million, but she says she's saving every bit. She earns through Cameo, the video shout-out service, where she's brought in $365,000, charging $170 per message. "I want to be comfortable," she says, "and I want my carers, to be properly paid." Then she adds with a laugh, "I do it for the money too, let's be honest." She lives with her longtime partner, Australian historian Heather Sutherland. They once planned to retire to Italy, a dream that Brexit made impossible. "So now," she says, "we're just trying to make the best of it." Even now, she refuses to soften her edges. In one podcast, she mused, "When you're young, you just think about your next FK, basically. Now, I think about death a lot. And again, there is no light at the end of the tunnel." But she doesn't speak with despair, she speaks with clarity, the kind that comes only from a life fully lived. There have been controversies, some minor, some more jarring. She has said things that critics called crude or inappropriate, but her response is always the same: honesty over politeness. She won't fake modesty or behave how others expect. It's this refusal to pretend that makes her unforgettable. And that's what we'll carry with us. Not just the laughs or the lines, but the image of a woman who faced aging with courage, who never hid her fear, her sarcasm, or her joy, who stood up for dignity, not just for herself, but for everyone growing old in a world that prefers them silent. She will not be remembered for how many movies she starred in. She will be remembered because she let us see her entirely, because she spoke what so many think but rarely say. Because in a world that fears aging, Miriam Margolyes gave us the opposite of fear: truth with a grin. What has Miriam meant to you? Did her honesty comfort you? Shock you? Did she remind you of someone in your life? Tell us below. We read every word. And if you want more stories like this, stories that honor the voices we grew up with, please subscribe. There are still so many stories left to tell, and some, like Miriam's, are too rare to be forgotten. Peter David was a legendary American comic book writer and novelist, best known for his groundbreaking 12-year run on The Incredible Hulk. His writing brought emotional depth and psychological complexity to the character, culminating in the iconic storyline Future Imperfect, widely considered one of the most influential arcs in comic book history. He also created the futuristic hero Spider-Man 2099, cementing his place in pop culture. Born on September 23, 1956, in Fort Meade, Maryland, David grew up in a military family, developing a lifelong passion for storytelling. Over a career spanning decades, he wrote for Marvel, DC, and the Star Trek universe, earning multiple Eisner Award nominations and the admiration of fans around the world. Tragically, Peter David passed away on May 25, 2025, at the age of 68, after a prolonged battle with kidney disease, minor strokes, and respiratory complications. His death was confirmed by his close friend and fellow writer, Keith R.A. DeCandido. Despite an estimated net worth of $10 million, medical debt burdened his final years, prompting a GoFundMe campaign to support his care. His passing marks the end of a vibrant creative force, one whose stories, wit, and humanity will continue to inspire for generations to come.
It's a very steep street up to the cathedral. And
Marcel Ophuls was a legendary French-German documentary filmmaker, best known for The Sorrow and the Pity, his searing 1969 chronicle of life in Nazi-occupied France. The film, which boldly exposed the complexity of collaboration and resistance, was so provocative it was banned in France for 12 years. With Hotel Terminus, his Oscar-winning 1988 film on Nazi war criminal Klaus Barbie, Ophuls cemented his place as one of cinema's fiercest truth-tellers. Born on November 1, 1927, in Frankfurt, Germany, Ophuls fled Nazi persecution with his family, later settling in the United States. The trauma of war and exile would fuel a lifetime of fearless storytelling through documentaries that demanded moral reckoning and historical clarity. He passed away peacefully at his home in the south of France on May 26, 2025, at the age of 97. His grandson, Andreas Benjamin Seifert, confirmed his death. At the time of his passing, Ophuls was estimated to have a net worth of $10 million, but his true wealth lay in his uncompromising legacy, a body of work that continues to challenge, enlighten, and inspire generations to confront history with open eyes.
First thing about this, the subject matter, folks have come up to me here.
Sacha Jenkins was a pioneering American filmmaker, journalist, and cultural historian, best known for Fresh Dressed, his groundbreaking documentary on hip-hop fashion. His Emmy-nominated Wu-Tang Clan of Mix and Men further cemented his legacy as a master storyteller of Black culture. Through Ego Trip magazine and films on legends like Louis Armstrong and Rick James, Jenkins brought untold stories into the spotlight. Born on May 18, 1975, and raised in Queens, New York, Jenkins came of age as hip-hop itself was being born. He used every medium, print, screen, and stage, to preserve the heart and history of urban culture. His fearless voice helped redefine how hip-hop is remembered and respected. Tragically, Jenkins passed away at home on May 23, 2025, at the age of 54, from complications related to multiple system atrophy, a rare and progressive neurological disease. His death was confirmed by his wife, filmmaker Raquel Cepeda. At the time of his death, Jenkins had an estimated net worth of around $5 million. He leaves behind a powerful legacy of creativity, truth-telling, and cultural preservation.
I've adjusted. I have come to understand that when you come to New York City...
Phil Robertson was a beloved American television personality, entrepreneur, and Christian patriarch, best known as the founder of Duck Commander and the star of the hit reality series Duck Dynasty. His journey from modest beginnings in rural Louisiana to building a multi-million-dollar hunting empire captivated the nation. The show, which aired from 2012 to 2017, turned Robertson and his family into household names, celebrating faith, family, and the outdoors. Born on April 24, 1946, Robertson was once the starting quarterback at Louisiana Tech, famously ahead of NFL legend Terry Bradshaw. but he walked away from football to follow a deeper calling, one rooted in faith and simplicity. In 1972, he invented his first duck call and began the legacy that would touch millions. Robertson passed away on May 25, 2025, at the age of 79, after battling Alzheimer's disease and multiple health issues. His death was confirmed by his daughter-in-law, Corey Robertson. At the time of his passing, his net worth was estimated at $10 million. Yet his greatest legacy lives on through his unwavering faith, his family, and the countless lives he inspired with his message of grace and love.
People entered now who were naked or half-clad. Then I saw a black line begin extending.
Alice Notley was a fiercely original American poet, born in 1945 in Bisbee, Arizona. Over her extraordinary career, she wrote more than 40 books of poetry, a play, and an autobiography, becoming one of the most influential poetic voices of her generation. Her acclaimed works, including The Descent of Alette and Disobedience, redefined the boundaries of verse, earning her the prestigious Ruth Lilly Poetry Prize in 2015. Notley's poetry often emerged from personal loss. After the death of her first husband, poet Ted Berrigan, she found herself hearing the dead and writing from that deep, altered awareness which she believed helped others heal. Her words explored themes of grief, transformation, and the mystical, offering solace to those navigating their own suffering. Alice Notley passed away peacefully on May 19, 2025 in Paris, at the age of 79. Her passing was noted by the literary world with reverence and sorrow. Though she leaves no known fortune, her true legacy lies in her transformative body of work, an enduring voice of fierce compassion and visionary power that will continue to inspire generations.
Sam Cohn, Arlene Donovan, my wife Sally.
Robert Benton was a legendary American filmmaker, born on September 29, 1932, in Waxahachie, Texas. He rose to fame as the brilliant mind behind Kramer vs. Kramer, the 1979 courtroom drama that won him 2 Academy Awards for Best Director and Best Adapted Screenplay. Known for his intimate storytelling and deep emotional insights, Benton's films explored the fragile threads of family and human connection. He overcame dyslexia as a child, drawing his identity not from books, but from movie screens. It was his father, not a teacher, who sparked his love of stories by asking, "Do you want to go to the movies?" Benton passed away peacefully on May 11, 2025, at the age of 92, in his Manhattan home, as confirmed by his longtime assistant and manager, Marisa Forzano. He leaves behind a remarkable legacy. Films like Places in the Heart and Nobody's Fool, characters brought to life with compassion and truth, and an estimated fortune of $10 million. Through his work, Benton taught us that even the quietest stories can speak volumes. His voice may be gone, but his stories will echo for generations.
Steph was right here, like on the opposite side, like on the inbound, trying to distract the inbounder. And he literally didn't even look at Quavo. He's like, "Yo, what up, Quavo?"
Kirk Matus was a beloved reality TV star, best known for his role on MTV's Floribama Shore, where his vibrant personality lit up the screen across 25 episodes from 2017 to 2020. His charm, infectious laughter, and deep connections with castmates made him a fan favorite. Tragically, Matus passed away on May 2, 2025 at the age of 33. His death came after nearly 2 weeks in intensive care, battling a severe case of necrotizing pancreatitis that ultimately led to liver failure. He had no medical insurance, and his family turned to the public for support through a GoFundMe campaign, now updated for funeral arrangements. The heartbreaking news was confirmed by his father and shared widely by friends and former co-stars. In a poignant tribute, fellow castmate Candace Hall recalled feeling his passing in a quiet moment by the sea, as a dolphin, one of Kirk's favorite animals, appeared to bid farewell. Kirk left no fortune behind, but his real legacy lies in the joy he brought others. A soul full of warmth, humor, and loyalty, he will be remembered not just as a TV star, but as the heartbeat of a family.
And he was like, all right, we're gonna do an audition. I was like, what?
Will Smith, from America's favorite star to that infamous slap, what truly remains after the spotlight. For over 30 years, Will Smith was more than a star. He was America's favorite hero, on screen and off. But in one unforgettable moment at the 2022 Oscars, everything changed. A single slap threatened to erase decades of admiration. What truly remains after the cameras stop rolling? Born in 1968 in West Philadelphia, Willard Carroll Smith Jr. grew up in a middle-class household where structure met imagination. His mother, Caroline, demanded perfect diction. His father, Willard Sr., a U.S. Air Force veteran, preached discipline as a gift. Will's talents showed early, sharp in class, quick with jokes, and blessed with musical rhythm. At 12, he became the Fresh Prince. By 16, he was recording with DJ Jazzy Jeff. Their debut went gold. By 20, he had a Grammy, the first ever awarded in rap. But behind the fame were hard lessons. Financial mismanagement drained his early fortune. In debt and uncertain, he found salvation in television. NBC took a chance on his story, and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was born. The show wasn't just a hit, it was a rescue. It restored his finances, showcased his charisma, and made him a household name. Film followed. In 6 Degrees of Separation, he revealed dramatic depth. Then came Bad Boys, Independence Day, Men in Black, roles that cemented him as Hollywood's most bankable star. He delivered iconic lines, fought aliens, and became the face of American summer blockbusters. But he also reached for more. In Ali, he trained like a champion and earned an Oscar nomination. In The Pursuit of Happiness, he portrayed fatherhood with heartbreaking honesty. Not every project soared. After Earth flopped in 2013, the failure shook him. He stepped back, reflecting on whether numbers had replaced meaning. That self-questioning led to quieter, more intentional work: Concussion, King Richard, Emancipation. These roles stripped away spectacle and returned to soul. Then came Oscar night. In 2022, moments before receiving his first Academy Award, Will Smith walked on stage and slapped Chris Rock. The audience froze. Millions watched, stunned. The incident, triggered by a joke about his wife Jada, became global news. That night, the celebration turned into controversy. He won Best Actor, but the applause felt muted. His public image, long built on control and grace, fractured. The response was immediate. The Academy suspended his voting rights. Projects were paused. And yet, Will didn't hide. He apologized, called it a fracture in emotional armor, and began deeper personal work. But the healing had begun earlier. Years of physical strain and emotional fatigue had caught up. A 2021 post revealed a heavier, slower Will, far from his action hero prime. But instead of shame, he chose honesty. He created Best Shape of My Life, a raw YouTube series about rebuilding health inside and out. Therapy, meditation, family dialogue. He leaned into what he called soul maintenance. His marriage with Jada, long scrutinized, became a space of transparent partnership. Their children, Jaden and Willow, forged creative paths of their own. The family turned pain into purpose. Today, Will Smith moves forward with humility and intention. His company, Westbrook Inc., produces stories that matter. In 2025, Bad Boys Ride or Die returns to theaters. He's filming a sci-fi drama, fast color spectrum, and developing documentaries on history and climate. But fame is no longer the goal. Impact is. Through his foundation, he funds robotics programs in Philadelphia, clean water systems in Kenya, and service days where his family works side by side. The Fresh Prince became a king, not through triumph, but through reflection. His legacy is no longer just about blockbusters or awards. It's about resilience, about admitting pain, about growing publicly so others can grow privately. His story reminds us that no one is ever too old to grow. What does Will Smith mean to you? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if this story moved you, subscribe to help us honor more lives that shaped the world.